They diagnosed me with pulmonary fibrosis, which is scars on your lungs. I started feeling very, very bad on my lung function.
He was becoming progressively more short of breath and unable to do daily activities. And we were concerned that he would require lung transplantation if medical therapy was unable to slow the decrease in lung function.
The doctors told us that that was the last resource, and it was a very risky operation. So it was very frightening for all of us. We didn't know what we were facing.
He went from being able to walk around on just a little bit of oxygen to being bedbound, requiring high-flow oxygen. We were preemptive about it and were ready to list him for a transplant when he needed one.
It was difficult for me even to speak. I had no oxygen to speak out loud, so I was speaking very close to Methodist downtown here.
He was in very bad shape, but by then we knew that he only had some days left and we really needed the lungs.
Dr. Gadarsi offered us an alternative, was to put me on an ECMO.
This is a procedure where we hook the patient up to a machine that provides the gas exchange functions of the lung outside of the body. So this is a temporary measure that we were able to place him on until a compatible donor became available. And so when he ended up on the ECMO machine, he really rose to the top of the list. And so that was part of the reason why he was able to really get a compatible donor relatively quickly.
And I was very fortunate because 2 days later, they called my family.
I was home and one of my sisters, she called us and she told us we have some lungs. We started screaming, we started getting ready again to come back to the hospital. We arrived like 1 a.m. and they told us we're going to wake him up so you can say goodbye to him.
So when a transplant begins, a lot of things have already gone on behind the scenes. We've screened the donor and the recipient and considered all the factors that determine a good match. The coordinators have done a lot of work in terms of coordinating the logistics of when the donor recovery occurs and when the transplant is going to happen.
So we had the chance to pray, all the family together. My father said some words to each of us.
From the patient's perspective, there's a whirlwind of tests. So we typically do many tests in advance just to make sure that the recipient is ready to go.
It was a huge crew of doctors. I felt like there were 10 inside the room, many things going on.
Dr. Suarez, he told me, you're going to be fine. And he told me, it's amazing the peace you transmit. And I said, yes, I'm in peace. And whatever comes, I'm ready for it,
We try to minimize the amount of time that the donor lungs are out of the body. It's only until we have final confirmation by our recovery team at the site of the donor recovery that the lungs are good, that the surgery begins in the hospital on the recipient. So it takes a lot of communication, a lot of choreography, and it comes together, very quickly.
He left and we were in the waiting room and we all fell asleep. We were exhausted, all the family, all my in-laws.
When I really woke up, it was kind of scary, because I didn't know where I was and what was happening to me. They started talking to me to calm me down. The team was very generous, very kind.
And I remember Dr. Suarez coming out. He was like, everything went great. I'm very satisfied with the surgery. My brother even hugged him. That here is not typical to do that.
They took me out of the ventilator and started testing me. And since then, I have never used oxygen again. It was unbelievable, it was a miracle.
We were super excited. And I remember he told us, but hold your horses, This is going to be like the stock market. Some days are going to be good, some days are going to be very bad. The important thing is to keep a tendency to go up. but he's going to have very hard times and you have to be there for him.
You think that you can walk and run again just like this immediately, and it's not that easy, okay? You have to start learning to walk again. And you have to do a lot of pulmonary exercises as well to strengthen your lungs.
Now, Mr. Ruiz is really starting to thrive. He's gained weight. He's kind of recovered a lot of his stamina and muscle mass and is now able to kind of engage in day-to-day activities.
It takes time, but eventually, I can tell you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, we decided as a family that we wanted to honor my father and do the Philadelphia Marathon, and we did it all together to celebrate the 1-year birthday of my father.
I have never run, not even a mile before, or walk. So for me, it was very exciting. It was very challenging and very satisfactory.
Doing that with him was a miracle, was something unbelievable, especially because my father was never really into sports, and the lung transplant gave him an opportunity of doing things different.
It takes many people to make one transplant happen, and a lot of the people beyond the physicians and the surgeons are crucial to making that happen. The nurses, the coordinators, the physical therapists, the dietitians, all these people contribute to making each of these transplants happen and are successful. So I think it's really the team that we've built here and the experience that we've accumulated that contribute to our success.
Life, it's great. I do exercise a lot now. I usually walk an average of 5 miles a day. Sometimes after that I swim. My kids come here. Most of them, they come here at least once a month. I'm very grateful. I cannot be more grateful than I am now for the life I have.